Hello everyone, Assalamu alaikum. Can you hear me? Good evening everyone. Assalamu alaikum. If you can hear me, please say hi in the comment there. Say hello madam. How are you madam? Can you hear me? All right, thank you for your response. Means that you can hear me. So now let's begin. Hello everyone. All right, let's begin with the new subtopic, which is 1.2 complex numbers. So there are 4 learning goals here. Okay, the first goal is to represent a complex number in Cartesian form. And then the next goal is to define equality of 2 complex number. And the third goal is to show the conjugate of the complex number. And the last one is to determine the complex number in a polar form. It's okay if you do not know what are these goals about. Don't worry. So let's go to the first goal. What is complex number? So I will represent you from the concrete example and then I will go to the formula. So the concrete example here is expressed in terms of I. So I is actually an imaginary number. Okay, I is imaginary number. So I will tell you later what is imaginary number. So from this concrete example, question A. So when you press the calculator, so let's try, okay? Whenever you press the calculator, square root of -1 or -4 or negative numbers, tak kisah kan, you will get an I. Okay, there is the answer. The answer is I. For let's say I press square root of -4, you will get 2I. There goes here. I times 2 is 2I. So basically, if you use your own calculator, it gonna give you maths error. Kalkulator biasa, dia tidak akan tunjuk kita huruf I. Kalkulator biasa, dia akan bagi kita maths error. In this case, kita tuliskan maths error tersebut dengan nombor huruf I. Kita gantikan error tersebut dengan I. So, I itu sebenarnya representing the complex number. And in fact, the complex number is written as A plus BI. Bermaksud dia mempunyai bentuk inilah, dia ditulis sebagai bentuk ini. Apa-apa penulisan yang mempunyai huruf I kecil bermaksud dia adalah complex number. Tak apa, nanti saya akan kembali kepada itu. So now let's solve this square root of -4. So square root of -4 is actually the combination of -4. If you recall back your SPM knowledge, this is actually square root of -4 times with square root of square root of 4, sorry. Kita nak nombor bulat. Okay, kita tak nak integers. Kita tidak mahu negative value. So kita darabkan dengan -1. So please bear in mind, -4 is square root of 4, punca kuasa 4 adalah 2. Manakala square root of -1 ataupun punca kuasa -1 sebenarnya adalah I. Okay, so this is the definition that you must remember. This is the complex number. If you read this note here, complex number adalah expression of the form A plus BI. As I said just now, bentuk penulisan dia adalah A plus BI, where A is a real number, is a real part, and BI is the imaginary part. Okay, so now note that this is a very important note. Nampak je ringkas tapi dia penting ya. Dia penting, it means that you must memorize this one. I, huruf kecil I bersamaan dengan square root of -1. This is VVIP. You must memorize this. Whenever you encounter this square root of -1, it means I. Okay, kenapa? Sebab -1 is, square root of -1 is maths error. Jadi kita gantikan dia dengan huruf I instead. Okay, now next question is square root of -100. So we want to separate the negative with the 100. So we separate the 100 and then we times it with square root of -1. So kita nakkan ganti, kita mahu gantikan square root punca kuasa -1 kepada huruf I. Okay, so now we know that already. Square root punca kuasa 100 adalah 10. Therefore, that's the answer. Nothing much, very easy. Next question, I think you can do it also. So you separate the number 9/16, the positive value, you separate them, and then you times it with another one is square root of -1. Okay, you pisahkan dia awal-awal and then you tekan calculator, square root of 9/16, it is actually 3/4. Therefore, 3/4 times with square root of -1, it is just the alphabet I, small letter I. You're done. So all of this is what we call as complex number. Complex number mempunyai imaginary. Imaginary bermaksud inilah huruf I tersebut. Okay? So now let's go to the next question. Concrete example. Find the value of A and B if Z1 is equals to Z2. Okay, apa benda Z1, Z2 ni? So Z1 is 3 plus 2I. So whenever you see 3 plus 2I, this is actually A plus BI. Remember, we have real part and also imaginary part. Okay, you must remember this word. As I said, maybe you should highlight this part. Highlightkan di bahagian ini, real part dan juga imaginary part. Hafal perkataan ini, senang nanti untuk kamu berbincang. So real part, A is a real part, B is a imaginary part where there is an I over there. So we describe this A plus BI is equals to Z. So Z ni adalah perwakilan, dia punya nama lah, sebutan. Instead of nak panjang-panjang sebut 3 tambah 2I, kita sebut Z saja. Z1 and Z2. Begitu. Kita bagi nama kepada kompleks tersebut. Kompleks number tersebut. So, dia suruh kita cari value of A and B. So, since dia dah kata Z1 is equals to Z2. Therefore, you just write it down. List it down. Z1 is 3 plus 2I. Z2 is A plus BI. Therefore, our A, by doing the comparison, nothing much, you do a comparison di mana real number adalah 3. Therefore, nilai A adalah 3. Manakala nilai B pula adalah compare dengan imaginary with imaginary part. You just compare it, left and right. And then you will get B value, which is 2. Done. You have the value of A and B by just using the comparison technique. So far so good. Kalau okay, tulis okay di situ. Alright. Next one. We need to find the value of A and B. So dekat sini mungkin you macam keliru soalan B ni. Tapi jangan takut. Saya highlightkan. Apa kata saya highlightkan? So A plus 2B is actually a real number. See? So this is real part. Manakala imaginary part pula adalah ada huruf I. Ada huruf I dan juga mana pula huruf I di belah kanan ini? Where is it? Where is di belah kanan ini? Can you guess? What should I write here? Can you guess? Everybody, can you guess? What should I write here? Saya nak juga tulis tambah sesuatu, tetapi apakah yang patut saya tambah supaya saya boleh buat comparison? How should I do before I compare it? 0I, Azriana, thank you for the help. Well done. I should write down A is 0i. So 0i sebab kosong darabkan dengan I adalah kosong. And that's why original dia, soalan dia memang kosong. And so good. So now barulah kita boleh buat comparison, iaitu A plus 2B bersamaan dengan 9. This is our first equation. And then A minus B sahaja. Sorry, A minus B, it gonna give us 0. So tak perlu bawa I tersebut. Some of you might ask me, Madam, perlukah kami bawa I? Perlukah kami bawa huruf I ini bersama? Bila buat comparison, no need. We just want the value of A and B. So tidak perlu bawa. I ini hanyalah rujukan kepada imaginary. Okay, imaginary part sahaja, rujukan sahaja. You just tinggal ambil A plus BI, A plus B, and then compare it with 0. That is what we are going to do. So this is simultaneous equation. So you buat elimination method. Kalau saya suka buat cara elimination method saja, mudah dan cepat. So A minus A is 0, and then 2B minus with negative B is 3B equals to 9. Therefore, my B is equals to 3. Therefore, my A is actually equals to negative 3. Is it correct? Do you agree? Do you agree that A is negative 3? Macam mana saya dapat A equals to negative 3? Sorry if I a bit faster here. So saya rujuk balik kepada equation nombor 2 ini, di mana A kita adalah so I suppose our A is actually 3. Sorry, A is actually 3. Yes? Alright, let's continue with the next part. So given that Z, kita ada Z dan W. Kita ada dua jenis, kita panggil? Kita ada dua jenis complex number. Okay, remember ya, setiap kali nampak bentuk A plus BI bermaksud dia adalah complex number. Kita boleh bagi nama kepada complex number tersebut by using the Z or the W. So here goes Z and W. Find in the form of X plus I, Y. So jangan takut, X plus I, Y hanyalah sama sahaja dengan bentuk ini. You don't have to be afraid all of them are describing the same thing. They want you to write down the answer dalam bentuk complex number di mana ia mempunyai real part and also imaginary part. That is what they want from you. This is actually equivalent to A plus BI. Sama sahaja, jangan takut. So your job is just to plus them together. So 2Z, so Z is 2 plus 3I and then plus with 7 minus 6I. Please put a bracket lah. Kalau tak put bracket nanti bahaya. So here we go. You will get 9 plus 7 is 2 plus 7 is 9. And then what do you get here? 3 minus 6 is negative 3i. Right? Correct? Like that. So I will leave this to you guys to find this your own. Alright? Kalau you dah pun cari, so I think I give you a minute lah. 1 minute to solve this and tell me, solve soalan B saja. Okay, you try it yourself, DIY. Try it now and give me the answer in the chat box there. I want you yourself tell me what is the answer for W minus Z. Can you write that in the chat box there? So your friend said here is -5 plus 9i. Is it right? -5. Good try, Azriana. It's okay if it's wrong or it's correct. It doesn't matter. Okay, let's see the majority of you. What do you get? Okay, let's see. What do I get here? 5 minus 9i. That is what I got. So well done if you got the answer. It's okay kalau pun tersilap sedikit. Ini baru permulaan kita belajar. It's okay. So what I got here is actually you kena hati-hatilah dengan pendaraban ini. That's why we put a negative. So we got here -2 and -3i. So -6 minus 3 is actually -9. Okay, so careful with that. So I want you to do it yourself here, DIY. Okay. Nanti bincang dengan tutor-tutor masing-masing. Jawapan sama tak? Compare your answer. Okay. So now we will go to the next goal, iaitu kita akan belajar macam mana nak conjugatekan complex number. So conjugate complex number, apakah yang dimaksudkan dengan conjugate sebenarnya adalah daripada Z ini, A plus BI, bila kita conjugatekan Z, conjugatekan complex number tersebut, dia akan poof, jadi magic, menjadi Z bar. Okay, magic. Dia jadi Z bar and then dia ditulis sebagai A minus BI. Itulah yang dimaksudkan dengan conjugate. Bermaksud dia bertukar di bahagian imaginary part. Okay, apabila imaginary part dia bertukar simbol, iaitu from positive to a negative, it means it is a conjugate of Z. Okay, itu yang dimaksudkan. So in order to find this conjugate, the answer is just 3 minus 2i. Ta-da! But make sure you write down the bar above the Z. Okay, the bar means the conjugate. And then next one, we have Z equals to -5 plus square root 7i. So make sure you faham betul-betul, you kena letak bar di atas ini. And then the real part doesn't change. The real part remain the same. Okay, masih sama ya. 3, -5. Yang berubah adalah di bahagian imaginary part sahaja. So from positive it become negative. The number still the same. That is what we call as the conjugate. Maybe you can show me the last one, Z. Z is equals to 20i. Can you tell me what's the Z bar? Can you all there comment in the chat there? Simply write down what's the answer for 20i. Can you check that? -20i. Very good. Well done, all of you. So it means you totally understand what is the meaning of conjugate. So saya mohon semua student hafal perkataan ini. Conjugate of Z bermaksud the Z bar. Alright? Make sure you remember those terms. Those terms are very crucial for us to repeat and repeat. Especially good for presentation lah. Sebab tu kena tahu terms ini. Well done. So you can do some exercises here. What lah? The conjugate of each of this, and then compare your answer with your friends. Just to recall the formula, complex conjugate is a pair of complex numbers both having the same real part with the imaginary part of equal magnitude and opposite sign. As I said just now, the opposite sign. Itu sajalah maksud dia. Okay. Let's go to the next part. Same in need of using this conjugate of Z. So now, yang ini a bit different. Soalan-soalan ni kalau you scan betul-betul, soalan yang di soalan bahagian 9 ini, the concrete example here shows that, oh, the imaginary part now has become the rational. You know, the rational bermaksud fraction lah. Fraction bermaksud apa tu? A over B yang ada apa ni kita panggil dalam bahasa Melayu dia? Kita pembahagi. The ratio, you know, we have a asalkan you nampak I-nya di bawah ataupun ada dua double I atas dan bawah, this kind of question, it needs a technique, okay, a technique that we call it as rationalize, okay. You kena hafal pula perkataan ini. Saya panggil dia teknik rationalize. This word is very, very important. Okay, write it down there. Rationalize. Pecahan. Okay, thank you, Adventures and your friend here. Pecahan. Betul. Ini adalah pecahan. So, soalan-soalan ini adalah bentuk pecahan. Bila you nampak huruf I-nya di bawah, dia ada teknik. Tekniknya adalah kita kena darabkan dengan conjugate. Darabkan dengan conjugate-nya sendiri. So in this case, conjugate untuk I adalah negative I. You kena darabkan dengan conjugate-nya yang di bawah ni. Lepas tu you copy paste sahaja. Okay, copy paste. Copy paste sahaja. And so the answer is negative I times with negative I squared. That's the answer. But the thing is, you know about something about negative squared. Bukan negative squared. You know something about I squared. So I squared sebenarnya bernilai negative 1. Wow, madam, how do you know I squared is equals to negative 1? Just a minute, yeah. So the answer is negative I sahaja. So I want to tell you why do I know and how do I know that I squared is equals to negative 1? Sebabnya apa ya? Kalau sesiapa yang boleh tahu, yang sudah pun tahu, can you share a little bit of your knowledge? How do I know I squared is equals to negative 1? Where do I know? How do I know where is it coming from? So, it is actually coming from I is equals to, tadi kan kita tahu definisi ini. So, this is a definition where we know I is equals to square root 1. Apabila kita squarekan both side, kita akan dapat I squared bersamaan dengan negative 1 instead. This is also magic. What do you do is just square both side. Okay, kuasa dua kan kedua-dua belahnya. Okay, therefore you will get x squared. So here goes x squared adalah negative 1. So negative 1 darab negatif adalah positive 1. Tak perlulah letak di bawah. So the answer is just negative I. Faham? Kalau faham, sebut faham. Type faham. Okay. So this is the definition that I think you must jot down. Okay, you jot down in your notes. This is an extra notes. Very, very important. Okay, now let's go to the next question. Kita perlu simplify the expression, okay? So kita, again, we need to do rationalize, okay? Setiap kali berjumpa dengan pecahan. Berjumpa dengan pecahan di mana I berada di bawah, kita buat teknik rationalize. So teknik rationalize-nya adalah 1 minus I. Okay, 1 minus I. So 1 minus I kenapa? Sebab dia adalah opposite sign of this positive. Okay, kita darabkan dengan conjugate. Darab dengan conjugate. Remember this. Okay, dah 2 kali dah saya sebut. Darabkan dengan conjugate-nya. Some of you, kadang-kadang dia tak suka tulis jauh-jauh, dia suka tulis dekat-dekat lah macam ni. Boleh juga, tidak ada masalah. Some of you love it like that. So dia tulis dekat-dekat begini. Supaya senang nak darab, you know. So 1 minus apa tadi? 1 minus I. So this is the conjugate, and then what you do is just copy paste. You can literally see that I am duplicating what I have already written here, the conjugate of the ni lah, pecahan di bawah ni. I mean the I, 1 plus I there. And so the answer is just, what is it? The answer is just 3 minus 3I. And then at the back here is 1 minus I plus I minus I squared. And then you simplify it. Of course, kita kena dalam bentuk A plus BI. So you can see this is negative I plus I is 0. And then you can see here 1 minus I squared. Tetapi I squared sebenarnya adalah negative 1. Do you remember? The definition said here that setiap kali berjumpa dengan I squared, you boleh bertukarkan dia, dia transform menjadi negative 1. So this is what I do. So this negative, this I squared ni sahaja, dia bertukar menjadi negative 1. Okay, negatif di luar ini masih kekal lah. This is negative, this is minus, This is 1 minus, still the same, tidak berubah. Yang berubah adalah I squared sahaja. I squared menjadi negative 1. Done. Therefore, simplifykan dia, you akan dapat 3 over 2 minus 3 over 2I. So if you can see here very, very clearly, cara saya menulis jawapan akhir saya adalah dalam bentuk A plus BI. Can you see? So make sure our last answer is in terms of complex number. Okay, complex number sentiasa dalam bentuk A plus BI. Make sure you know that. In this case, ini juga dalam A plus BI. Cumanya, the real part is 0. Okay, the real part is 0. So 0 tidak perlu tulis, sebab itulah. Tidak perlu tulis pun tidak apa. So it is actually the same thing, penulisan masih dalam bentuk A plus BI. Itulah jawapan terakhir setiap kali soalan meminta simplify. So now I want you to try for yourself question C. Can you tell me what's the conjugate? So setiap kali kita nampak pecahan, kita mesti buat apa? Teknik rationalize. Okay, concept. Maybe I should say concept. Concept rationalize. So concept rationalize memerlukan conjugate. What is the conjugate for 3 plus 3 minus I square root 2? Can you write it down there in the chat there? What is this one? What should I times here? Can you tell me? Can some of you reply me there and type in what should I write here for its conjugate, for its rationalized concept? 3 plus I square root 2. Very good. Your friend said here 3 plus I punca kuasa 2. Mantap. So you all know it. You understand it. So saya dengan harapan terus buat latihan. Senang. Tak payah nanti hujung sem baru nak ingat. Membazir masa. Lebih baik kita hafal daripada sekarang. Senang nanti bila buat latihan seronok saja. Seronok sebab pandai buat. Macam tu. So make sure you know from sekarang, hafal dari sekarang, faham konsep, apabila kita perlu buat rationalize, we need its conjugate. So jangan lupa teknik dia adalah darabkan dengan, kalau you lupa, you tulislah nota darabkan dengan conjugate-nya. See, kita belajar, kita kena pandai take note on our own. Okay? Very good, you all faham apa itu conjugate lah. So now our job is to times it down. So what is this? This is 6. Pelan-pelan ya, 6. Okay, kadang-kadang saya suka buat benda ni untuk bagi senang nampak. Saya suka buat bracket. So we have 6 here because 2 times 3 is 6. And then 2 times square root 2 is 2 square root 2. Jangan terlupa huruf I. And then I times with 3 is 3I. And then plus with I squared. Jangan lupa kita ada I squared times with 2. So di bawah ni pula dia akan jadi 9 minus I squared times 2. Okay, dekat sini saya buat agak laju. Kalau you tak boleh buat cara laju, you buatlah teknik perlahan-perlahan. Okay, dekat sini saya dah pun biasa berjumpa dengan negative and positive sign. So I know tengah-tengah dia akan sentiasa termati. Akan sentiasa hilang, becoming 0 because of this plus minus symbol. If you are used to maths, used to latihan the middle part is 0. So you tinggal cari hujung-hujung saja. So it has become, let me simplify it. So 6 plus 2 square root 2i plus 3i. So jangan lupa kita ada apa ni, I squared. So our I squared here has becoming what? Negative 1 ya, jangan lupa. Tukarkan, transform your I squared in becoming negative 1. And then here goes 9 minus I squared. Oops, I squared bertukar menjadi negative 1 lagi. Tapi jangan lupa darabkan dengan nombor 2. And so the answer is 6 minus square root 2 over with 5. Is it 5? Oh no, it's 11. Sebab ini tambah. And then plus with 2 square root 2 plus 3 over 11 I. So again, as I said, the answer must be in the form of complex number. Make sure you have the imaginary numbers and also make sure you have the real number. So you have this real number.
Is there something else I can help with?
No, Siri. So this is real number and this is imaginary number. Imaginary part. So make sure you have both of this part. Okay, dalam jawapan akhir mesti ada kedua-dua bahagian inilah. Separatekan dia awal-awal. Adakah jawapan saya sama dengan jawapan kamu? Can you give me a thumb if you got it the same as mine? Kalau ada kesilapan pada jawapan saya, you can correct me there. If your answer is the same as mine, please say yes and put a thumb up there. Okay? So I see you need more time to digest, isn't it? So I recall a bit lah, mungkin some of you dah lupa tentang sesuatu punca kuasa punya apa ni? Formula. Thank you for your response, everybody. Very good if you got the same answer. So I just want to recall to you, square root of 2 times square root of 2 is actually 2 ya. Okay, kalau you ingat benda ni bermaksud you masih fresh lagi ingatan you tentang SPM punya sikit-sikit punya formula. Very good. So now we have completed the concept of rationalize. So rationalize, done. So rationalize concept, done. Rationalize concept in need of the conjugate lah. Itu saja. So now I want you to do this by yourself, DIY, question number 4, and then you compare with your tutor punya growth partner lah. Okay? So last one from me before we end this tutorial. Saya nak pergi ke polar form sebenarnya. Polar form. So I will skip this question 10. This question 10 is also quite easy. You hanya jadikan Z sebagai subjek. So I give you a hint, okay? Make Z as a subject. Bermaksud, you jadikan Z ini sebagai subjek lah. Dan you akan, dan you simplifykan dia sampailah you dapat bentuk A plus BI. Just the same thing over again. You just rearrange it. Okay, susun atur dan you akan dapatlah. Okay, ni pun extra, boleh buat sendiri, ulang kaji. So now our goal, my mission is my last learning goal yang keempat, iaitu determine the complex number in polar form. Okay, benda ni baru bagi you all. You all tidak pernah dengar perkataan polar form. Inilah pertama kali you all dengar. So, don't be afraid of it. We will begin with Argon diagram, okay? I know some of you also the first time of hearing, listening to the word Argon diagram. So, Argon diagram is just like X, paksi X dan paksi Y. Cumanya dia menggantikan, it replace this paksi X dengan real number Z. Okay, it is actually the same thing, almost the same, but we call this real number, real part, you know, the real part. So the real part is for the conjugate Z, and this is IM bermaksud the imaginary of the Z. And so we just need to represent this question, Z is equals to 2 minus 4i on the Argon diagram. So it's very easy, you just cari je nilai real part ni 2. Negative 4 di mana? Negative 4 di bawah ni. So negative 4 di bawah ini. So you just put a dot there since this is the coordinate. And then from this origin, you just make a straight line to the point. Okay, you make a straight line, yeah? After that, and after that, you put a dotted line. You just put a dotted line. Is it the dotted line here? Put a dotted line there. And then you're done. And then kalau nak lebih tepat, kita letak dia punya angle. Here we call it alpha. So this is what you call as representing the complex number di dalam Argon diagram. Argon diagram bermaksud ada paksi real dan paksi imaginary. Itulah Argon diagram. Dan kita panggil ini, dia terletak pada 4th quadrant. Okay, dia terletak di the 4th quadrant. This is very new thing for you all and I need you to focus lah. Very, very listen carefully. Benda ni sangat penting dalam exam. So now, next one is number 2. Number 2 is here and number 4 is there. Just put a dot there and put a line there. And then you know what to do already, which is just put a dotted line there. And then you put an alpha for symbolizing that we need to find the angle. But not yet. Lebih baik kita belajar macam mana nak melukis dulu. Lepas tu kita labelkan dia, this is the first quadrant. And this just now is the fourth quadrant, okay? So kita nak belajar macam mana nak melukis dulu. Lebih baik belajar pelan-pelan. So now -3, where is it? -3 is around here. And then 5, +5 is here. So make sure you tahu ya, imaginary di mana, of course lah di paksi Y kan. You dah faham kan? So now put the dot there. Put the dot in symbolizing the coordinate. Okay? And then make a straight line to the origin. Make sure you go to the origin. And then you put a dotted line. Okay, dotted line. And then you put dalam triangle ni mempunyai alpha. Okay, sentiasa. Dia sentiasa. Kalau you perasan, angle sentiasa di dalam triangle. Alpha ni sentiasa di dalam right angle triangle. Okay. And the last one here is -3, -5. So from there, you already know pattern dia sama saja. Alpha is there. And, oh, I forgot to tell you that this is the third quadrant. And the last one is here. Third pula. This is the second quadrant. Sorry, guys. Second quadrant. And this is the third quadrant. So basically what I have said here, we have 4 quadrants. Fourth quadrant is here. First quadrant is there. Second quadrant is here. And the third quadrant is there. So basically quadrant dia, cara bacaan quadrant sebenarnya adalah anti-clockwise, which I assume you already know it. This is the first quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant, and the fourth quadrant. So it is anti-clockwise lah. So now you dah tahu kuadran-kuadran tersebut. So inilah lukisan dia. Ini adalah formula lah. Nanti you boleh refer semula. So cukuplah setakat kita tahu how to draw it first. This is the first step, okay? First step is to draw the Argon diagram. And the second step is to find the modulus and the argument of the complex number. So what is modulus actually? So modulus adalah, kita mulakan dengan concrete example ya. Senang, lebih laju. So concrete example untuk modulus you know it, kita kena ada palang terhadap the complex number. So you know that it has a formula. Modulus has a formula of this one. I think I should make down the rangka dulu so that you boleh nampak. Inilah formula. This is the formula for the formula of the modulus for any question of Z. Okay, so you just masukkan nilai real dan nilai imaginary. Masukkan sahaja nilai, sub in the value of 5 and number 2 only. No need the I, just the magnitude. Okay, just the value. Just sub in the value. Press your calculator and you will get what? Can you tell me? 25 plus 4 is 29. So you will get a square root of 29. Okay, so biarkan saja begitu. So the same thing goes to the next question here. Can you tell me in the comment there, what is the modulus for question 2b, question 12b? You just sub in the value of what? -5 square root 3 and then also the value of -5. What do you get, everybody? use your calculator. I got here the value is 10. Okay, so now kita baru cari modulus. Kita belum cari, okay, this is the modulus of Z. Kita belum lagi cari argument. So argument tu macam mana pula? Argument. So argument of Z, so saya tulis short form lah. Argument of Z, so argument of Z, argument of Z, I want you to think by yourself. By when tak apa, tak perlu think by yourself. Because I don't have space here, I say I use this. Oh God.
Anda boleh melakukan itu dalam map kenalan.
Hey, what are you, Siri? Terima kasih lah, tak perlu. Okay. Argument of Z, ya. Argument of Z kita berhenti di situ kejap. Saya nak sambung nombor 13, okay? Okay. Write down the complex number in polar form. So polar form di sini mempunyai 3 step penting. Yang pertama adalah draw the Argon diagram. Okay, so you draw your Argon diagram. So you determine where is the real part, which is here, square root 3, and here is 1. Okay, ni nilai 1 ni. So therefore, this is your apa tu? This is your Argon diagram, di mana dia berada di first quadrant. So make sure you draw, ya. You step by step. You kena belajar ni. So we know that this is alpha. Okay, alpha. This is at the first quadrant. Step yang kedua adalah find the alpha. Kita kena cari alpha. Alpha is actually the argument. The argument of Z is actually theta. Theta is actually an angle of Z, you know, angle of your conjugate lah. Tapi macam mana nak cari theta? So theta sebenarnya adalah daripada alpha ini. Daripada alpha. Jawapan kita berdasarkan kita punya kuadran. Okay, sebab tu saya menggalakkan untuk melukis kuadran. So now, untuk mencari alpha is actually alpha bersamaan dengan tangent, shift tangent ataupun inverse of tangent B over A. Okay, B over A, ya. B over A. Alright, so your B over A is actually from the A plus B punya apa tu? Conjugate lah. So your conjugate here is what? Your conjugate here, your A is square root of 3. And then your B here is what? B here nilainya 1. Okay, so you refer back your question. Your question is square root of 3 plus 1i. So make sure you faham bahawa A dia adalah square root 3. And then the B here is 1. So you just follow dulu. Follow the formula first. I will explain in the tutorial class kenapa formula ini begini. So just for now, you use it. Okay. So this is where you need to use your calculator. So shift tangent shiftan, and then you put 1 over square root 3. You will get 30, right? But 30 is in degree. I do not want in degree. The degree untuk soalan polar form, untuk penulisan polar form, dia mesti dalam bentuk radian. So you got to change this answer into radian. So radian dia adalah pi over 6. Okay, you just use your calculator and you will get the answer of pi over 6. So that is your answer. Tapi, okay, remember ya, this must be in radian ya. So you can hafal sedikit lah. What you need to do right now is memorizing this formula. So this formula is actually coming from hypotenuse. Do you remember this? Hypotenuse, adjacent, opposite. So it's actually coming from, this formula is actually coming from the knowledge of right angle triangle sebenarnya. Kalau you tahulah. Kalau nak lebih tahu nanti PM saya ataupun tanya depan-depan. So for now you just have to memorize. You hafal dululah, dia lebih bagus. Dia tidak diberi dalam exam, but you must memorize this one. And so, we still haven't got our argument. Okay, belum lagi berjumpa dengan argument. So, argument dia adalah argument of, bukan argument theta, argument of Z, iaitu theta. Sebenarnya, untuk first quadrant dia adalah alpha. Okay, di mana jawapannya adalah pi over 6. Right. The first quadrant, if you look here in your notes there, theta, this is actually theta. This is actually alpha lah. So first quadrant, jawapannya adalah alpha. The theta ataupun argument Z simbol dia sebenarnya theta. So untuk first quadrant, the answer is alpha. Direct answers, alpha. Tetapi kalau you tengok kuadran yang kedua, the theta answer ataupun argument of Z bukan lagi theta, tetapi pi minus alpha. Alamak, madam, what is this alpha minus, what is this pi minus alpha? Kenapa nak kena tolak dengan alpha? Kenapa pi kena tolak dengan alpha? Why? So you want to know why? Later I tell you. Kejap lagi. So now kita habiskan step kita yang terakhir, iaitu penulisan polar form. Penulisan polar form memerlukan conjugate Z. Conjugate Z pula. Memerlukan, apa tu kita panggil? Memerlukan polar form. Okay, let me tell you bentuk polar form ya. So bentuk polar form adalah ini. This is the definition untuk polar form. Definition. Where it needs you to write down the theta. It means you gotta find theta and find, satu cari theta. Kita dah jumpa pun tadi theta kita. Dan lagi kedua adalah mencari R. R sebenarnya adalah the modulus of Z. Di sini you perlu hafal sedikit lah. Okay. Dalam rujukan saya pada formula ini, rujukan di sini kata modulus R as your step 1. Tidak kisah, step 1 saya adalah lukis. Sekarang ni saya dah pergi sampai step 2. Step 2 adalah iaitu cari theta, cari theta. So, cumanya tadi saya tertinggal lah yang ini. Saya tertinggal step, apa itu? Saya tertinggal step modulus. Step modulus. Modulus of Z iaitu square root of 3 plus 1 squared. It's gonna give you 2. Okay, so saya terlupa ya. Step 1 saya di sini juga, selain daripada melukis Argon diagram, I should also find my modulus of Z. Sebab polar form kita adalah dalam bentuk ini. R times cos theta plus I sin theta. This is also need to be remember ataupun memorize this one. Okay, you got to remember this formula di mana R itu sebenarnya adalah conjugate of Z, modulus of Z. Then what is your R just now? Your R is actually 2. Okay, remember yeah? The Z is actually, the modulus of Z is actually 2. So 2 times cos pi over 6 now, plus I sine pi over 6. That is your answer in polar form. You see here? Polar form mesti ditulis dalam bentuk R times cos theta plus I sin theta. Benda ni kena hafal sedikit lah. Tanpa menghafal the concept and the formula, you cannot do this. So you need to memorize the step. Only 3 steps. Step 1, mencari Argon diagram. Lukis dulu Argon diagram to know the quadrant. And at the same time, must find the modulus of Z. And then the step 2, find the alpha. And then you will get the theta. And then masukkan saja jawapan theta tadi ke dalam formula polar form. So these 3, basically you hanya mencari R dan juga theta. Dan masukkan ke dalam formula polar form. Let's do this for the final, let's do this as the last question lah. Okay, saya tunjukkan yang terakhir ya. Dengar baik-baik. Inilah terakhir daripada saya mengajar polar form, penulisan polar form. So listen carefully. This is last one from me. So saya ambil extra 5 minit daripada you all ya. So step 1 adalah step 1 adalah Argon diagram plus with conjugate Z and find the modulus of Z lah. Apalah saya ni asyik sebut conjugate je. So now, okay, apa kata saya untuk mengelakkan saya terlupa, saya carilah awal-awal my own the modulus of Z, which is negative 2 squared plus 2 squared gonna give me 4 plus 4 is 8. So square root of 8 lah. Square root of 8 is actually 2 square root 2. Okay, this is square root of 8. So you can do it together with me right now. Sama-sama jot down the notes and do it together. If I do mistakes, just tell me. So I already got my answer for modulus of Z, ataupun kita panggil ni sebagai apa ni? Huruf R. And now let's draw our Argon diagram. So our Argon diagram here is negative 2 and positive 2. So we have here what? We have here at the second quadrant. Okay, dalam ni mempunyai alpha lah. Okay, kenapa saya nak melukis? Kenapalah saya ni nak sungguh-sungguh juga lukis Argon diagram ini? Ada sebab. I will tell you in a minute. So second step adalah, di second step ni lah kita kena cari argument Z ataupun ia disebut sebagai theta. Theta adalah jawapan yang kita nak carilah. Just now I said find alpha kan? Yeah, true. Find alpha bermaksud step dia lah memang sungguh-sungguh kita cari find alpha dulu. Sebab dengan cari alpha, sebab alpha adalah starting point dia dulu. Find alpha meaning alpha is a permanent, kita panggil not permanent punya jawapan. Kita panggil dia complement angle kot. Complement angle. It's so called ni reference angle. See? Alpha means the reference angle sahaja. Okay. Kita bukan mahu alpha. Kita mahu theta. Remember this. Kita mahu Theta sahaja. Alpha ini hanyalah sementara. Okay. Angle sementara lah saya panggil dia. Angle sementara saja. And then we need to memorize the formula of alpha is actually B over A. Okay. So this B over A, you sub in the value, you will get what? So B kamu adalah 2. A kita adalah 2. Negative 2. So you press the calculator. It's actually a negative 1 and shift tan, negative 1. So the answer is pi over 4. Okay, this is in radian. Everybody make sure it is in radian only. Okay, so make sure you write down the form, the modulus ya. Kalau you tak letak modulus, you akan dapat negative pi. So careful there. Benda ni akan mempositifkan negative value. So we will always get a positive radian. Okay. So now in conclusion, bukanlah habis lagi. So now di sinilah datangnya apabila kita tahu dia berada di second quadrant. So this is the concept. Okay, listen carefully. The concept is actually wanting the value of theta. This is our goal. The goal is finding theta, bukan alpha. So alpha ini hanyalah reference di mana jawapan yang tepat adalah from 0 degree to the second quadrant. So this is the actually, I repeat ya, from 0 degree to the second quadrant. This is the theta yang you mahu. This is our goal. Our goal is at the second quadrant. Therefore, theta adalah adalah pi, iaitu 180 degree minus with the alpha. The thing is, we do not want to use 180 degree. 180 degree bermaksud pi. Sebab kita, again, our goal is as well in the radian. Therefore, it should be returned in radian minus with alpha. Okay, apabila 180 darjah, 180 darjah tolakkan dengan alpha, maka dapatlah the angle that we want at the second quadrant here. Logic? Kalau logic, mohon tulis logic. Thumbs up kalau you faham. Kenapalah dia perlu mencari ini. Okay, so if you can see here, di sinilah second quadrant formula dia dah lain. Theta is pi minus alpha. Disebabkan 180 darjah tolakkan dengan alpha because we want the theta, bukan alpha. Okay, we read from here 0 degree angle. Kita belajar daripada 0 degree angle. Okay, kita membaca. So yang dekat sini saya nak you study by yourself. You study by yourself. Kenapa sini dipanggil negative alpha dan di sini dipanggil sebagai negative pi minus alpha. So I want you to study by yourself. Buat latihan, you akan perasan, oh, I am at the third quadrant. Sendiri fikirlah, oh, adakah aku berada di third quadrant ataupun aku berada di fourth quadrant? You just think by yourself. Sebab itulah penting untuk melukis pada step yang pertama. Di sinilah penentuan you sama ada you dapat jawapan theta yang tepat ataupun salah. Okay, so now our job is to finding the theta, iaitu pi minus alpha. The answer is actually 3 pi over 4. So this is the angle that we want. This is our goal. So your goal is almost done. Hampir dekat dah kita ni. So this is what we want. And so the last step, iaitu step ketiga, writing down your answer in polar form. So polar form kena hafal formula. Hafallah sebanyak mungkin. Write down the z is equals to r times cos theta plus I sin theta. Tulis banyak kali sampai hafal. And then z is eventually equals to 2 times square root 2 in a bracket. Letaklah big bracket also can. Di mana the answer is cos. Cos apa tadi? The answer is actually The answer is actually cos 3 pi over 4 plus I sine 3 pi over 4. So some of us love to put bracket. Letaklah bracket. Therefore, that is the answer dalam bentuk polar form. Maka itulah 3 step. 3 step penting. 3 step penting untuk mendapatkan jawapan polar form. So all these are very famous in PSPM and also in your UPS 1 lah. So UPS 1 dan PSPM nanti confirm akan keluar soalan polar form ini. So I want you to study and to make sure you really position your quadrant tu dengan tepat, barulah you boleh cari your angle ataupun saya panggil dia argument of Z. Okay? Hafal nama-nama sebutan ini. Argument of Z you mesti tepat. It is based on your quadrant. If you know it, you will never go wrong in finding your perfect data answer. Okay, so good luck in doing the exercises. There are so many exercises here that you can try by your own. So I stop here. Thank you so much for listening and spending the time for 1 hour with me. All the best in doing the exercises. Thank you all. Bye-bye. Assalamualaikum.